we're live. Welcome to our YouTube channel. I'm Peezy.
I'm Heaven.
Today we are doing a Q&A. We posted a poll on Instagram and we posted a poll on Twitter for our fans across all platforms to send us questions, and we're going to answer them. While we answer the questions, we're going to put together a Lego set.
We've been doing content for a little while, and we realized that we don't really talk on the internet, and y'all don't know much about us besides our hearts. So
that's a funny way to put it.
So we're just going to, give a little introduction.
Yeah.
So y'all can get to know us as people.
As people, human beings.
This might not be the right way to open this box, but there is no other way to open it. There's no tear here. It's not like a box of cereal. There's no preparations. So I'm just gonna rip the whole back off this hoe. Okay, never mind.
No, do you think?
No, I feel judged.
I'm judging you a little bit.
I feel very judged.
I'm only judging you a little bit. Not too much, though.
I didn't want to be judged at all. So
oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Now I'm a little insecure.
Oh, God.
Damn, it's been so long since I've done a Lego set.
I've never done a Lego set. This is my first time actually putting one of these together. Well, I played with Legos, but I played with the block Legos when I was a kid.
Yeah, I used to play with those too. The only Lego set I assisted with putting together was it was like a Star Wars ship.
I know that's fire, right? It was fire.
It was.
Came out really good.
It was. The chemistry y'all have is the truth. Thank you. We be trying. We be chemical up in here. We gonna have...
so this bag number 1 right here. Bag number 2.
Pay attention. Slow down.
Oh, my bad.
You're just throwing stuff around. I already separated them.
Oh, I didn't even see.
So there's multiple bags for each.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how this goes for real. The first question says, not a fan, but a huge supporter.
Wait, how do we? First, we should probably introduce ourselves.
That's what we did at the beginning.
No, but actually introduce who, what we do and.
Oh, go ahead.
No.
Go ahead. I'll go after you. That's what I wanted to do in the beginning. That's what I was saying. You start the video by saying who we are.
Okay, we're gonna start over.
Start over.
Action. Hi, I'm Heaven.
Get off me.
This is my man.
Welcome to our YouTube channel. I am Peezy.
I'm Heaven.
And this is our YouTube channel, Heaven and Peezy. Of course, you know this. This is why you're here.
All right, you know why you're here. So for those who don't know who we are the beautiful faces behind DeeNPeezy. Well, Heaven and Peezy. We are adult content creators.
Yay!
I'm also a pole dancer / performer, and I love on my man for a living.
And I am Peezy. I am the face behind Peezy. What do? I don't know. I create content for a living.
What kind of content do you create?
I create adult content. And I'm also one of the biggest nerds in the world. I spend a lot of time reading. Let me take that back. I spend a lot of my time learning new things, which includes reading, among a bunch of other things. I think this would be a great first question. And I think a lot of people ask this one. but it basically says a detailed how we met story. And we're going to tell it from two different points of views because she has her own way, and then so you can go first.
Okay. Actually, I want you to go first because I always tell the story first.
She always tells the story first. Okay, so was this pre-pandemic or like on the cusp of the pandemic?
Nah, the pandemic was already panning.
The pandemic was already happening. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're pandemic partners, if that's the thing.
It is because I said so.
We met during the pandemic. How did we meet? Okay, I'm not really good at storytelling, so I'm gonna give y'all like a really brief, detailed story, but it's gonna be really brief compared to hers. So anyway, pandemic happening. I was on Tinder, and I came across her Tinder profile, and it was like it said something like point. It said like 1 mile away or something like that. And so I didn't swipe right on her. I went to her Instagram and I followed her on Instagram and I shot my shot through Instagram. I forget exactly what I said. I was trying to talk to her, but it wasn't working at first. I'm not even gonna lie. I was shooting and it wasn't working at first. She would just leave my messages on red, or she wouldn't respond. Till we fucked the first time. But I kept reaching out to her through social media, through the DM. And she finally gave me the time. From her perspective, a little bit, she was going through a little bit of something when I had asked her to come over to watch Snowfall, which is a really good show that I never watched. I invited her over to watch Snowfall, and we literally like talked for hours. Like our first time meeting was us just talking and talking and talking and talking until the nighttime came, right? But yeah, that's like my story.
We linked up at night.
We linked up at night. Yeah, we linked up at night. I had to go to work 5 o'clock in the morning. I didn't go to sleep until like 3, 2 or 1, whatever time it was. We literally met.
2 or 1 is crazy.
We literally like linked up at like 8 or 9ish, and we talked nonstop for hours. I didn't have no water in the house. I didn't have anything in the house.
I was in his crib, thirsty, y'all.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you tell your story because yours is more interesting than mine is.
Okay. It's not that it's more interesting. You just don't be detailed. Okay, so my perspective, the heaven perspective. I was on Tinder. It was literally we were a month into the lockdown. It was a good bit into that lockdown. Mm-hmm. My best friend kept pressing me to get on Tinder because, I was single. I wanted some hoes. And I didn't want to at first because I was like, I didn't want to be like that girl that people recognizing from Tinder. Like that. I thought that was mad weird. Funny how that panned out.
Right.
So yeah, like I was on Tinder. I had some hoes. The hoes got boring. So I started fishing for some more. And I swiped up on this guy. We matched. So, like me, I got to see all my options. Okay? I can't just go with like the first thing that I see. So I went to the guy's Instagram. And then he had a group picture with him and his homeboys. Now, listen. Not saying I'm an expert or anything, but you just got to see what the homeboy's looking like because you don't want the, least attractive one. So I looked and I saw him. And I was like, oh, yeah, he tall, he fine. Like, yeah, I want that. I'm on that. So I followed him, and then he immediately followed me back. And then, like he said, like
I was already following you.
No, you weren't.
I was, I promise.
I promise you weren't because it didn't say follow back.
I was following you though. Anyway, my bad. Continue. I'm sorry.
You was stalking that page. That's what you was doing. So we had so he had followed back, and I think like the next day or a couple days later, he had messaged me, or he swiped up on my story, and I didn't respond because I don't know. I don't respond to messages. If you know me, you know, like, Heaven don't text back. And there's nothing against people. It's literally just, I just don't like texting. And then, you know, you weren't the only guy in my DMs. So I was just like, you know, who going hard for this? Anyways, weeks go by. I finally respond. We keying in the DMs. And then one day he messages me. Oh, no, he was like, you know, you look familiar. And I was like, oh, well, like, I was in school at the time. So I was like, yeah, I go to such and such. So you probably saw me around campus. And he was like, nah, I ain't never seen you over there. Or he was like, nah, like, I don't go there. I was like,
I just live there.
I was like, okay, well, I be partying. You probably saw me at, like, a club or, like, a party one of these times. And he was like, nah, I don't be partying either. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't know where else you would have saw me at. Yeah, and then come to find out, like, we talking about Lincoln or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I stay in this complex. And I'm like, hold up, I stay over there. So he's like, yeah, I'm in building 3. And I'm like, wait, I'm in building 1. Or he's like, I'm in building 2, I'm in building 1. Lie to you not, he literally lived across the walkway from me. Literally. So one day we're texting. He's like, yeah. I'm like, what you doing? He's like, yeah, I'm watching Snowfall. And I'm like, okay, well, I've never seen that show before because I don't watch shows. I'm just not a TV girl. I don't be watching nothing for real. But when I do, just know I'm into that hoe. So he's like, yeah, I bet you'll watch it I bet you'll get into the show if you watch it with me. On some cheesy, cute shit. So, yeah, one of the days come, he texts me, he invites me over. Mind y'all, I'm in the middle of, this was a night that I was in the middle of a mental breakdown. Life was just lifing. Life was whooping my ass at this time. And I'm like crying, bawling my eyes out in the dark in my room. And I get his message and he's like, yeah, you want to come over and watch Snowfall? And I'm like, actually, I do want to come watch Snowfall. So I walk over to his apartment.
I met you on the stairwell.
He met me in the staircase. He let me up or whatever. And we get inside his crib. Now, he left out the part where you was definitely slick. He left this part out. His apartment was so fucking cold. He turned the AC down to literally the coldest setting. Like, I'm over here trying to be cute and talk to him and shit. And I'm like shivering, shaking and all that. So, you know, he give me a blanket. Like, you know, you trying to get up under this blanket. And I'm like, yeah. So, yeah, I get up under the cover. We talking for hours or whatever. And
we wasn't, like, side by side under the cover. It was like she was wrapped up in a blanket, like, 4 feet away. Something like that. Not even 4 feet away, like a couple of feet away.
We was sitting on a bed, sitting across from each other. Don't let him fool you.
No, I'm just saying.
Close.
We was close, but I'm saying, like, I'm just giving them, like, the...
We weren't laid up.
Yeah, we weren't laid up. We were just talking.
Yeah, and then we talked all the way until, like, 3 o'clock in the morning. Mind you, he had to get up for work at, like, 5 or 6. And he's like, you know, if you want, you could spend the night. Cool. I'm cool with that. We go to sleep. Well, we lay down. We cuddling. I felt that poke. I'm like, all right. I understand the assignment. So I'm pushing back, you feel me? Because he poking, I'm pushing. He poking, I'm pushing. And, you know, one thing leads to another, and we getting active. We getting active. And then the next day, I was like, you know, sorry I kept you up for work. Like, I didn't mean to bother you or whatever. And he was like, yeah, like, come bother me again. Cool. I come over. Same thing. The next day, he's like, yeah, come bother me again. Like, this was our thing. Like, this was the thing. It wasn't no, like, yeah, come over, or, like, what you doing, come through. It was like, you free? Come bother me. And then, yeah, we spent every night together.
Ever since then.
Ever since then. Like, we literally lived together since the day we met.
Literally. That's really crazy. We've lived together ever since the day we met. Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Question number 1.
Yeah.
Okay. not a fan, but a huge supporter. And my question is, what are each of your biggest fears in life? One of my biggest fears in life is, um, I don't want to say not living up to my potential, but I want to say like leaving the world behind without leaving a mark, if that makes sense. I think that every day is special, and I think we have a new opportunity every day. So one of my biggest fears would be, well, leave without having my presence felt still here while I'm gone, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So that's probably one of my biggest fears. I don't really fear many things because I know that we all gotta die one day. I know that like everything is inevitable. Stuff happens, and life goes on. But that's probably like one of the one things that I fear the most. Yeah, a legacy, a legacy. I want to leave something behind for my family. I'm reading an Instagram comment. I want to leave something behind for people in my family. So what about you? What is one of your biggest fears?
Mm, one of my biggest fears in life is not doing the things that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I try to have I try to live life, well, I live life with zero regrets. If I do something, it's because I wanted to do it. And I try to make sure that I accomplish anything that piques my curiosity because I'm just here for experiences, you know? I feel like life is so precious and the time that we have here is never certain. So I want to make do with the time that I have and do as much as I can as possible. And why not do the things that I want or the things that brings me joy? So I just I just fear not living a fulfilling life in that regard. Like I feel like if I were to take a route where I'm living based on other people's expectations, I wouldn't be living a fulfilling life because it's not always going to be what I want to do. It's more so what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And shit, I've been doing pretty good so far. Mission accomplished.
The next question is, what did you think you wanted to do for a living when you were in high school? This is really a really good question for me because I wanted to be a YouTuber in high school. No, I'm lying. Actually, I take that back. Let me go way back. Right, I graduated my freshman year, December of my freshman year in high school. So I don't really honestly have an answer for that. I didn't really have a plan at all. I wasn't in a best like living situation, so my first immediate reaction was to get a job, and I was a manager at McDonald's for a while, and I worked at the skating rink. That was my first job was working at the skating rink. My second job was being a manager at McDonald's. So I didn't really know.
Go away.
I didn't really like know what I wanted to do. I was gonna say though at first I wanted to be a YouTuber a couple years later, which was interesting, and that now I'm finally like actually getting into it. But
Right?
in high school, I didn't know.
I would say like when I was in high school, I didn't actually have a plan for what I wanted to do or what I wanted to be. I was just smart as fuck. Um, Science was my shit. So I just figured that whatever I was going to do, it would have fallen in line with the STEM field. But I'd never had like a dream career or like you know, a goal or whatever. To be quite honest with you, high school was a very dark moment in my life, so I actually didn't expect to make it this far.
And look at you now.
I would say that I'm more than likely I didn't have more than likely I didn't really have like a dream career, and I didn't think too far into my future because the way my mental health was, I didn't see a future for myself. But yeah, I didn't see a pretty long a long future for myself. I didn't really want to be here. So it's really cool now that I am here at 24. Kicking it.
Kicking it. Making it happen.
You know, making it do what it do.
Making it do what it do. Hold on, say. The next one was, will you be getting more pets? Absolutely not. Not right now.
Right, I was saying maybe not anytime soon, but I would. As you can see, I'm already wrestling with one of two. The other one, he's really chill. We have two cats, Thor and Loki. Loki is the one that keeps trying to jump in the camera. They pretty much run the house. Thor is the sweetie pie. He was in that cage sleeping. I don't know where he is, but he's our chunky, greedy boy.
I'm struggling right now. I've been trying to put this together for a minute, and I do not know how. Do we go sideways? That's impossible, right? No, that is possible, because I gotta just. Oh, I figured it out.
So we gotta do it with all of these?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I would get more pets. We are.
When we get a house, for sure.
Yeah. When we get like a bigger home and we have more space, we'll definitely.
Yeah.
That's Loki.
Yeah, you got it, homie.
That's Loki.
You got it.
Obviously, he doesn't care. But yeah, I would. I absolutely would. I never thought that I would even have cats, so the fact that I have two is kind of crazy to me. I probably won't get a dog until I have a house because I'm not walking a dog. That's just too much. Mm-mm. Of course, like, you know, when I'm going out to my convenience, I would do it. But imagine it's raining, it's cold outside, and my dog has to shit.
And you're not shitting in the house.
You're not shitting in the house, and I'm not walking out there. Like, it's too much. The convenience of having cats is that I don't have to deal with that.
Oh, this next one is pretty good. If you could interview anyone, who would it be and why? The first answer that came to my head was Kevin Gates, because I love his journey. I love how he became the person that he is today. I love his whole journey. I love his transformation. A lot of people don't like him. I mean, I don't really care. But I love the fact, because I come from the same place that he come from. So I understand, like, the changes that he made as a person. I understand why he had to do what he had to do. But I would interview him because I would just want to get inside his head to get even deeper into, like, what caused this change, what was it inside of him, or like what spoke to him that made, you know, life different for him.
Woke up that dog.
Yeah, what woke up that? What made you say, like, yeah, this is right here, and I'm about to go do it? So that would be who I would interview.
I don't have anyone that I would interview.
Really?
No, I'm not really interested in other people like that.
That's fair. That's really fair.
Like, I don't mind having conversation, but there isn't anyone in this world that, like, I'm that interested in that I actually want to know, like, you know?
Yeah, I got you. The next one is, what's the secret to being together for so long? There is no secret.
Right.
For us, it's the communication. It's being honest and straightforward. It's about knowing what you want. Because going into something not understanding what you want, then you're not going to get anything that you want, because you're just leaving it up to I was gonna say expectation, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Doing things without intention and without direction will send you down a path of unintentional, undirectional chaos, meaning anything can happen to you at any time, versus knowing what you want and doing the things that you want and doing the things to make each other better. All of those things, like, really play a role in it. The honesty, I always say that, the communication, the trust, keeping the relationship alive, dating each other, showing up every day. And then I also think that just becoming a better person, just me becoming a better person for me also allows me to be a better person for my partner. So it's about, like, for me, the personal growth, the journey, the development of yourself, is what I would say. What would you say?
The secret, I would say one of them, my biggest one that I had to learn was patience. Um, when we first met, like I had very little patience for anything, and without that patience, I was setting a lot of expectations. I was just expecting him to just like already be this person that I already like conjured up in my head. I was expecting him to know the things that I know and know the things that I want and just how to be my partner. And that wasn't really fair because, for one, this is both of ours first, like, real relationship. So neither of us knew how to be a partner. I was just, setting expectations. And then, as we are growing and as time goes by, we're constantly changing. And the more that we change, the more we have to keep introducing ourselves. So when he's a different version of him and I'm a different version of me, we're not aligned. We have to get back in line. And it requires a lot of patience because you can't keep expecting the old version of your partner. I can't expect all the old habits or his old ways, especially if those are, some that he decided to either get rid of or to evolve. So it took a lot of patience to navigate through that, and it took a lot of patience to just literally just learn each other. Learn, because sometimes, like you said, just knowing what you want it goes a long way. But when you don't know what you want, you don't know what you're looking for, he is going in over there.
Yeah.
When you don't know what you want or you don't know what you're looking for, it may be a inconvenience on your partner, because on the other end, it's like, I don't really know how to treat you if you don't even know how you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
And when you just go doing things off the whim, it could be good or bad. So a lot of our relationship was us just doing things. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. A lot of things did not work. A lot of things did work. It just took a lot of patience to see through to the other side.
I think that's good enough to go to the next one, for real. The next one is, how are y'all so passionate with each other? Did it come natural?
Oh, hold on, wait. To be fair, if y'all are talking about like,
it just said, it doesn't say sex. It said, how are y'all so passionate with each other? How did it come natural? They could be talking about it. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are from, this is from Twitter, so.
Right. Okay. So from the sexual standpoint, that did not come natural. When we first started doing the dudes, I actually could not take that. Oh, surprise! It was a little too much for me. But we had a lot of conversations about pleasure, like what I like to experience in bed, what he likes to experience in bed, and then we just, start experimenting with a lot of different things. But the non-sexual intimacy, that built up over time. I would say like a little bit yes and no. Yes, some of it definitely did come natural, but the more we connected with each other and developed our relationship, the more that chemistry just got stronger. The intimacy just got heavier, and like we just got closer. And then keep in mind, like we got together during the pandemic when there was nothing else to do but spend time with each other. So it was just every day of us constantly getting to know each other and constantly figuring shit out together. And it just worked for us.
Yeah. I would say, to add to that, studying like what pleasure looks like. Studying, well, for me, it's like understanding how the vagina works, or like understanding how my partner likes, like just paying attention to her reactions when certain things happen. Learning where the spots are at, learning that you can't go too deep into a vagina because it's only so many inches long, and if you go too far back, then you just hitting the cervix. In the goal, and learning that the goal is not to just pound away at the cervix, but to to do other things, which I won't go into detail about. But yeah, and like also whenever like sex is happening, I don't always just have sex for my pleasure. So like just taking the time to do things that aren't natural, I guess. I don't want to say that or that isn't natural because a lot of people don't do it. Just doing things that
just being comfortable with getting out of your comfort zone and exploring new things.
Yeah. And then, like I said, reading. One book that really helped us, or that helped me, was was Urban Tantra. Learning about breath work, learning about how energy moves around in the body, because sex is one of the most powerful acts in the world, or it is the most powerful act in the world. And if you're just doing it without any regard, you don't know what type of energy you're creating or pulling from. So it's like learning how to move the energy around in the moment, learning what to do with that energy once it's there, learning how to feel it, learning what things to say, what things not to say. You know, it's a whole lot, but it's all worth it. It's a pretty flower. Like, yeah.
Wait, stop.
Read the whole question. It says, hello, full of love. Tell us about your meeting in detail. And then it says, heaven, what made you say he's the one you need, and Peezy the same. They said D with him and Peezy. So what was it that made it that was?
Oh wait, before we get into that, let me clarify our name. So our @name is DeeNPeezy because when we first started doing this, I went through so many name changes. I'm actually D. He's Peezy. And then I was Susie, and then now I'm Heaven. So we're gonna stick it to Heaven, but we didn't want to change the @names because we've been doing content for some years, and we didn't want to like cause any confusion with our watermarks and then new pages. So yeah, I'm D. He's Peezy.
Mm-hmm.
Now to answer that question, I think I would say it was when I realized how patient he was and the amount of like calmness and peace that he brought to my life. Like I said, y'all, I've had like a very crazy history with mental health, but it was just the way that he always took care of me. He was always very patient with me, and the way that he was just nurturing as a partner, but then also as a friend. He's always been an amazing friend to me. He's always been someone that I could comfortably confide in, and whenever I would have those bad mental health days, he just knew what to do in a way. And mind you, this is all completely new to him. That comfort was there. And then it was further confirmed as we got older and we both started going through our spiritual journeys and our personal growth together. He started his journey before I did, but it was just something about seeing him going so hard to like change and be a better person. And it's like, you know, he's not even just doing it for himself. He wasn't just trying to be a better man for him. Like, he was actually trying to be a better man for him and everyone in his life, including me. And that type of consideration was just so, like, that type of consideration made me feel so good. It's like, you know, I gotta keep this man around. And then it motivated and inspired me to embark on my journey. And I developed the same attitude where it's like every day I'm like, you know, I gotta go hard. I gotta make sure that I'm being the partner for him. I want to make sure that I'm being, you know, the person that he needs me to be. I want to show up for my friends and I want to show up for my family. So it was just the way that we're able to piggyback on each other, but definitely the way that he's been able to motivate and inspire me, because I've really never had that ever.
And then for me, it's really almost the same thing, but flip. She was and is very energetic and very outgoing. It was the fact that, like I said, she's very outgoing. I was very quiet. I mean, even though like everything she said is true about me, like me becoming a better person for everybody around me, all of those things are true, but I was still very quiet, very shy. I wouldn't say timid, but just very quiet. She can tell you now, like, I won't stop talking.
Now he don't. But when we first met, he was like quiet as a freaking dormouse. You can hear a pin drop. It was like almost scary how quiet he was, but he was not quiet with me. Like I could get him to talk.
Yeah. And so she helped me like open up and become. She helped me see the world from a different point of view. The same way that I showed her the world from the point of view that I've had, or the point of view that I've like was like going through. She helped me develop a different form of communication, a different way to like move through the world. I would say like it's very fulfilling. It's very inspirational and very motivational for me. Like, cause I'm always trying to be the best person that I can be every day, every minute of the day. And that took it to a whole new level. I'm here now, like I'm just developed in a whole new way. It's been amazing. Just seeing how she loved me and the love that I got from her I never experienced before, I would say. And especially like from a partner. Like you said, it's like literally like my first real relationship. I've been in relationships before, but I don't think I had been like serious about anything. Something about this made me want to take life even more serious, if that makes sense.
For a man to open up, absolutely. Cause he had to break him, in, and we're still working on it. It goes back to what I was saying about that patience. Even just having patience for your partner to open up and be vulnerable with you, especially as men, as Black men, because y'all often aren't given the space to be vulnerable and to be soft. And one thing about me, I don't like a hard body, because I'm not a hard body. I'm very sensitive, and I don't like that level of masculinity where it just takes away from your authentic humanity. I don't want a partner who is convinced that he can't feel things.
And let me tell y'all something. I was very much convinced that I couldn't feel. I was in a bad. We were both in pretty bad spaces. I'm pretty sure like everybody was in a bad space at one point in their life, right? And that's very much okay, because life is hard. Life is not meant to be easy. But to be able to experience, like I say, experience something new, experience different emotions, to be able to cry without had been crying for years. Like when I told her I haven't cried since someone in my family had passed. It had been that long, and that was 17. That was 2017. So yeah, it's been like really rough. And like you said, especially being a Black man, and it's kind of hard to. Not kind of. It's really hard to find friends to be vulnerable with. It's really hard to find friends that I can actually even open up to.
What is he playing with?
The charger.
Oh.
It's really hard to find like men who actually can be a shoulder to cry on. And I was in the long run, I was able to find that. But her being there in those moments of the need that I was in, like, it's really cool. It's really amazing. It's really amazing, actually. Really beautiful. Very demure. And I love you as a couple because you each have your own space and manage to be close. How did you do it? Oh, that's a really good one.
Ooh, few things. When we got our first apartment together, we had our own rooms.
Yeah, we had got a 3-bedroom apartment, our first apartment.
Yeah, we got a 3-bedroom. We had the room that we slept in together. He had his own room, and I had my own room. So having a lot of space definitely helps. Exploring, like, your hobbies, and remember that a relationship is not two people making each other whole.
It's two whole people.
It's two whole people joining in unity. And granted, like, no, we're not 100% whole, but we definitely have some level of fulfillment that we've developed on our own. There was a life before him. There was a life before me. There will be a life God forbid we ever separate, a life after him and a life after me. So it's just maintaining that level of independence has helped so much. And we also just encourage each other to pursue
our own
hobbies and the things that we want to do.
So we can come back and talk about it, because sometimes it's kind of like we do everything together. Okay, we're going to get bored of each other. I'm not saying we're going to get bored of each other, but it's like, how can we like come back and tell each other about something exciting if we are doing everything together? It's really cool that we gave each other the opportunity to have space so we could explore different things. Like, if I didn't give her space, basically what I'm saying is she wouldn't be the pole dancer that she is today. You know what I mean? Because I would be taking all her attention away. So I think the idea is to understand that that we are still human and we still have our own needs outside of each other, and just allowing each other the space to just be human. I think that's a really cool thing about our relationship. We allow each other the space to just be
kicking it.
How do you maintain such a healthy relationship with trust and respect and protection at a young age? Because I'm severely thinking of just leaving and saying fuck love.
Oh, baby. My bad. I didn't mean to jump out like that.
No, but you did though. So what you got to say? What you got to say?
Listen, we're just figuring this shit out. Like, there really is there's no right or wrong way. There's no rules to this.
Mm-hmm.
We are just taking it day by day, figuring this out. As far as your stance on love is the most powerful substance in the world. Love is your ultimate superpower. That is one thing that you cannot create or destroy. It is one thing that will always be with you. Do not ever give up on love, and do not ever let anyone dim that light of yours. You are meant to love and be loved simply because you exist. Now, when it comes to, romance and stuff, there are billions of people in the world.
8 billion that we know of.
And more than likely, the love of your life is not in your hometown. So start there. But yeah, like, take time to grow as a person. Become your first love first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's something that we both have been learning and navigating through. Becoming your first love, knowing what you want in a partner, and then becoming that partner. Usually, like, when you write down like all the traits that you want your dream partner to have, those are usually things that you either have in yourself, or that's usually the kind of person that you want to be. We're only 24. So, like, mind you, we don't have this shit figured out at all. We're learning. We're trying our best. And that's the other thing. Like, give it your absolute best. Every time you enter a situation, like, use your discernment to the best of your ability. You're not always going to be right or wrong. Know that right and wrong does not exist. It's only what's good for you or what serves you and what does not serve you. And you're going to have complications. You're going to have challenges, and you're going to have situations that might make you feel like giving up. Again, use your discernment whether or not it's something that you're willing to get through or something that you're not willing to go through, and you are okay with leaving it and moving on to the next. But definitely don't give up on love.
Yeah.
I love love.
I was going to say, you can't, this is why we said we are two whole people. I forget the whole thing we said, but this is why we said we're two whole people meeting. We're not trying to complete each other. We are complete people coming together to be one.
Mm-hmm.
So with love, man, I think that like you said, you just gotta love yourself first. So you could even know how you want to be loved. A lot of us don't know how we want to be loved. A lot of us really just wake up every day and go through life without knowing like what we want to do or what we want from our partner. Like
a lot of us don't even know like all that's out there.
Yeah. and so I say that to say, like, you got to explore yourself on a whole nother level, because if you feel like you're ready to give up on love, it's like saying I don't want to live no more, because love is everywhere. Like
Love is your ultimate source.
Love is your ultimate source. Like love keeps you going. Love is what wake you up in the morning, what gets you out of bed. Like, and some people don't love themselves, and that's okay too. But the idea, no, I'm saying that it's okay because like it happens. Like it's not something that's not common because a lot of people go through this daily. Like a lot of people feel like they're searching for something, and this is something I told myself the other day. I feel like I'm searching for something that I should have in myself already. So it's like you have to find love in yourself before you can even try to love somebody else.
Right.
You have to learn to love yourself in a completely new way before you even attempt. Because if you don't love yourself, there is no way in hell you're going to find anybody to love you. It's impossible. You don't know what you want, and the thing is to just learn what you want, what you're willing to put up with, what you're not willing to put up with, what you're willing to learn how to accept, and what you don't want to accept. It's a whole lot. It's a never ending process. Love doesn't just go away because a person does something. Like love is really addicting. Love is a drug. Love is the strongest drug in the world. Like, and there are only two things that exist in the world: it's love and fear. So it's either you're fearing something or you're not loving yourself enough. So that's what I would say. I would just say, man, just like start with you.
And also, explore the different types of love because there are so many. It's not just romantic love that's out there. You also have your platonic love. You have the love that you share with your family, and then just like the many forms of self love, the way that it's expressed. If y'all ever notice, like in our regular content,
You good?
I'm always cheesy and giddy, and it's because one of my like favorite ways of expressing love is through this inner child that I've been nurturing. Having that childlike wonder, it opens your mind up to the other ways to receive and give love. Think about, children when you were younger, like the world was just so much more vibrant and crystal clear because there was nothing tainting your heart. There was nothing damaging your imagination. Granted, like a lot of our childhoods were completely different, but that's just natural for children to have until we're conditioned to exist otherwise. So what helped me get into, falling deeper in love with love is to just get back to that root, and that root is your younger self. So that's always cool as well.
Yeah, explore, man. Like never give up, because once you give up, nothing is impossible until you give up. I'll say that. Once you give up, you said I'm done with this, then you're never gonna find it again. You already gave up. You didn't even try.
Like give yourself a chance.
You just think about it. You got 100 years on this bitch. Like, and the 100 is not guaranteed. I'm just using 100 because I mean that's what we all expect to live to. But you got 100 years on this bitch. Like, why would you stop loving at 20? You got 100 years here. If you give up on love at 20, or I'm not sure how old you are. I'm just gonna use my age. If you give up on love at 24, and you got 76 more years on here, like, are you gonna go through the rest of your life like hating life?
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
That is a long time.
I'm telling you. Don't give up. I would keep persisting. I would keep persisting. I will also say this is really good. This is a really good question. I will also say that it takes chaos in order for you to even find what you're looking for. And I say it takes chaos because nothing in life comes easy. I posted on Twitter today, loving yourself is not easy. Eating healthy is not easy. Going to the gym every day is not easy. Working out and stretching every day is not easy. Doing this is not easy. Like, nothing is easy in life. Nothing comes easy. Love doesn't come easy. Nothing. Everything is based upon who you are and your perspective of the world. How did sex go at first and instant fusion, where you learned each other's bodies?
Bro, listen. First time we had sex, that shit hurt.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Talk about it.
it
Go
was
ahead.
big. Like I said, I took it well enough for him to like probably not tell that I couldn't take it, but I had to go back and redeem myself. I was like, yeah, I ain't no bitch. I'm gonna enjoy that thing. So I kept coming back, and we kept going, and we kept going. But like I said, the more we got connected, the more intimate that we got together, and it went through all areas of our relationship, including sex. And we always had different conversations about like the different type of like things we want to try and the way we like to be pleased. I've always been very like sex positive. I've always been open to exploring like different things. So I was just hitting like I would tell him like, hey, I want to try this. Let's try that. Let's go to the sex shop. Let's go to the sex shop. Let's get these toys. Let's try this. Let's try that. So
Did you get it in all the way?
we just kept having fun. Nah.
Okay.
But yeah, it wasn't like instant. The sex wasn't instantly like,
Amazing.
oh my god, magical. Like it was something that we worked on, just like everything else. Like everything takes work. Some people are blessed to have like that
instant chemistry.
You know, like that first time connection, and right there is boom, like we good. But it's okay to not have that.
First time with sex, it was that. It wasn't bad at all. It was just that we didn't know each other's bodies, so it was kind of like nut done. You know, like it wasn't like me trying to please or nothing like looking back, I can say that. It was just like we was fucking like a lot of people do. Evan, you're such a motivating woman. I am 24 years old, too curvy. Any advice on how to feel free?
It goes back to what I was saying earlier about being your first love. Like, you gotta be the one to tell yourself that you're that girl or that person.
Mm-hmm.
And then also realize that in this life, people are going to have opinions. It's just natural. Humans just think shit. That doesn't mean that they're right. And for as long as I walk this earth, I'm going to live authentic and as true to myself as possible, because can't nobody else tell me who I am to be, what I am to look like, and what I gotta do but me. Mm-hmm. People are gonna have things to say. Sometimes they don't. One thing, I heard, I think it was like a TikTok or it was a tweet. Somebody was like, one thing about young girls, you think about yourself too much. You think about yourself way too much. And it's to the point where you are thinking down on yourself and you are talking down on yourself when those thoughts are not always true. They don't have to be true unless you make them. And that was one of the keys to my freedom, freeing myself from those like negative self-talk. Another thing that helped me get comfortable with being more free is moving my body around. The more that I moved and the more that I challenged my body, that's why I do pole dance. I challenged my body into doing all these different like movements and tricks and shapes and things that I've never done before. And that alone just showed me that I'm more than capable of doing anything that I want to do in this life. I just have to be willing to do it. You absolutely are free. You're more free than you think you are. You just have to believe that you are, and you have to act on it. You have to walk around every day and go throughout this life knowing that there is no one who can stop you. You are completely unstoppable. The only person that can stop you is you. The only person that can actually make you feel a way is you. It don't matter what the next person got to say. Somebody can. There be people. The other day people was calling me cringy and corny and talking all of this mess. I don't care, because at the end of the day, they're gonna say what they have to say.
They're gonna log off.
They're gonna log off. They're gonna go back to their regular life, and I promise you will not be a thought to them anymore, unless you go viral. But even if you go viral, eventually
It
no
goes
one
away.
really cares. You gotta realize that like people don't care as much as it seems. A book that I read, someone said that you're not as important as you think you are, and it's not in the sense that you don't matter. It's just that everyone is so wrapped up in their personal realities that even if they take time to focus on you just for a second, it's still not you're still not more important than what they have going on in their personal life. Because once that second is over, they clock back into their regular universe, and they just go about their day, and you just have to do the same. The moment you give power to other people's opinions, that's you letting them just decide how your life goes and how you should feel and how you should look. And no one should ever have that power except for you. So stay in your own reality, stay in your own world, and just do the things that you want to do. Whatever that makes you feel good, as long as it's at the harm of none, do that shit. Like you literally only have one life. We just get one. Self-preservation. Self-preservation. First law. A big word for Elmo. Self-preservation. First law of nature.
Yep, the laws of human nature. You read that book? You're amazing. You're amazing. Peezy, do you feel pressure to be a man in your relationship? Like, are you stressed about not being up to par? Really good question. At one point in my life, as she just finished saying, I was letting the opinions of other people dictate how I felt. At one point in my life, I was letting the opinions of other people dictate my emotions. I was letting the opinions of other people tell me like what I should and shouldn't be doing. It was even to the point where like I was letting it dictate what type of job that I had. Like, I was never my authentic self, and so I would say in the beginning, yes, I did feel pressure, um, because I wasn't being my authentic self. Uh, but growing into and becoming who I am, I get to show up like this every day. I don't have to worry about anything. I feel free. You know, this it's a whole nother level of freedom that I feel like opinions don't matter. Um, Someone's thoughts don't matter to me. I just live life. Uh, I know what I want. I know what I want for myself. I know what my partner wants. I know what she wants for herself. So no, I don't feel any pressure. I understand that everything is abundant in a world. I understand we live in a world that you have access to everything that you ever wanted, only if you could think big enough. Literally just that alone, like having the power to think past my situations allowed me to be as free as I want to be, free as a bird. I can go wherever I want to go. I'm in here chilling with the birds.
Wake up early, get the worm.
You know? Yeah, so I think now is no. I'm not stressed about anything. I understand that the seasons change. I understand that the night falls after the day, after the sun comes up. I understand that it takes chaos for things to change. I understand that life is not hard. I understand that life is hard, and I understand that stuff does go wrong. I understand that stuff happens. Um, yeah, that's really it. Like, so no, there is no pressure. There is no stress. I mean, sometimes stuff happens, and I might feel like intimidated or like stressed in a moment, but I always know that I have the power to not let what's in front of me dictate how my life goes. I understand that I have the power to control my life, and I have the power to dictate how my life goes. So no, there's no stress. I'm here. I'm here for the long haul. I'm here for the run. Like, bring it on. I mean, the only thing I can do is stand up and fight every day. I truly understand that, and that's all that I give every day. And it's an everyday thing. It's a never-ending cycle. Next one says, Heaven, what sport did you play when you were younger?
I did cheerleading, basketball, and I ran track.
What would you say to your 16-year-old self?
Girl, it gets better. It definitely gets better. I promise it is not going to hurt this long or this bad. It's going to suck for a little while longer, but it is going to get better. Like I said earlier, I had a very bad history with mental health. And like I mentioned earlier, I never thought that I would live this long. I never wanted to. And 16, I think when I was 16, that was like the first time that I actually attempted. And it was really difficult. It was almost impossible to see a better life for myself. Like everything was just dark. From like an early childhood, I've had just a whole lot of dark days, and I never would have imagined it being this beautiful or being this bright. So to my 16-year-old self, I know she is so happy, and she is cheering me on right now because she never thought that she would see this day. But I would go back and tell her that it's okay. It's not going to be dark forever.
I love that. The next one's for you too. It says, why do you prefer short hair?
Baby, listen. So I have been natural my whole life. I've done all the fros, the twist outs, the bantu knot outs. I've done every natural hairstyle. Camera died. So, what was I saying? Oh, I couldn't commit to a hairstyle, so I didn't want to lock my hair because I like to change it up every week. So I was like, I'm just gonna cut it. When I was 17, I did my first big chop, and I realized that life was so much easier when you got short hair. And at first I had like a little taper cut with some curls at the top, and I dyed my hair purple, and all my friends called me Little Grape. And yeah, like the time it took to get ready cut down, the money that I spent on products cut down. I didn't have to worry about getting braids and booking hair appointments and all that other stuff. Like life literally just got easier when I cut my hair off. And then I kept getting scissor happy, and I went from a cute little taper cut with some curls to a ball cut with some waves. I just kept exploring deeper and deeper into it. It just opened up another level of freedom for me. And then I was just thinking, what's the worst that can happen? I'm gonna look ugly with a bald head, okay? It's gonna grow back. And fair enough, I look good with a bald head, so I kept it for a little while. And it's funny because I'm actually growing my hair back out. I might lock it, I don't know. I started growing my hair out at the end of 2023 because I just wanted some braids for summer 2024. I got my braids, and now, I don't know, I want to see like what my adult face looks like with the big fro and the twist outs and all the other stuff. So I'm just gonna explore it. But y'all got one minor inconvenience, and I'm cutting this shit off.
You say you got one, and you done?
One minor inconvenience, and it's done, son.
The next one is, are you jealous, possessive?
No.
Right?
There's no reason. He don't belong to me, and I don't belong to him. So, yeah.
Honestly, it's really just that simple, for sure.
That's it. That's all.
The next question just says porn. It's not a question.
It's not a question.
It says, the next one says, how do y'all solve issues in your relationship? We talk. Communication is key. We talk about everything though, like everything. We just sit, like the first time we met, we talked for hours, and every day we talk for hours. and for hours and for hours. It never stops. I think being able to communicate is really the only thing for me, like that makes that work. Communication and trust, but trust is built through communication. Like, so, I think they asked the question. I think that's what that question thing is.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, for me, it's communication. What would you say, buddy?
It's flirting, cheating. Yes.
Is it?
I mean, it depends on who you ask, but most people are gonna say yes.
I get, yeah, flirting. It is. It kind of is.
It
is.
If it's like a little, like, oh, I'm never gonna see you again, and I'm just trying to, get a little extra from the bartender, like, oh, hey, cutie, like, pour me extra shot, then, that's cool. But if it's like flirting, like I'm trying to pursue you, and I want a little something on the side, absolutely. It's really where your intentions are, but that also boils down to your relationship stance, if you're monogamous or non-monogamous, and all the other things. Something that you and your partner have to agree on.
Mm-hmm.
To answer that question, though.
Yeah, that was a really good answer.
Oh, as far as like the disagreements, how we like get through problems.
How do y'all solve issues in your relationship?
Oh, how do we solve issues in our relationship?
The beautiful part about that is we don't have too many. But go ahead, what you about to say?
Right. But whenever we do have any issues, like you said, we talk about it and talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. It's a conversation that you're not going to have just once.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's realizing that communication never stops with one conversation. The problem isn't solved immediately. That's the reason people mess up and do the same thing twice. Because we got to keep talking about it until it becomes a habit. A lot of these things we're expecting people to do, and we're expecting them to make it a habit immediately when it takes 21 days to build a habit. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I mean, that's just what they say. But I don't think it takes 21 days. I think it takes constant communication, constantly bringing the topic up, and constantly reminding each other, like, hey, you doing that thing again, or hey, like, we don't do this, like, like we just over and over and over again, because we're human. We mess up all the time. It's never perfect. Like, life happens, and life happens fast. So it's really just about like showing up for yourself. I'm going wrong. It's really about communication. Constantly talking, constantly having communication. Effective communication over and 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 over again.
There'd be some times where it's like, all right, I ain't finished talking about it, and he'd be like, well, I'd be like, yeah, I'm done talking about it, and he'd be like, but I'm not. So yeah, you just gotta stick it through.
And it's like, if you want it bad enough, you're going to do it.
Patience.
If you want what you gotta have patience. I guess that is another one, patience. You gotta have patience to solve issues. Like, issues don't get solved off one conversation, like I said.
Oh, it's so cute.
Mm-hmm. The next question is, what are your actual names? Peezy.
Heaven.
How do y'all keep the chemistry between y'all and manage a healthy sex life?
We gotta keep dating each other.
Yeah, every day.
Like, you can't get comfortable with your partner and be like, all right, like, work here is done. Put it out. You have to keep dating your partner. You have to continue to put in the same work that you did when you were trying to get them. At the same time, now that you have them, you still got to put in that same work. We still go on dates. We still, like, find ways to make each other all, like, giddy and blushing like it's our first time meeting each other. You just... Okay.
He just want attention.
I know. You just have to treat it like it's the first time, literally. Now, managing a healthy sex life, that varies
From person
to person. So, one thing about me, I'm not going to be turned on if I'm not mentally, like, stimulated, or if I'm just not doing well mentally. So if I'm stressed out about something, or you know, money ain't looking right, or you know, I'm not keeping up with my health and all this other stuff, like my mental health is on a decline, and I literally just, she just ain't gonna get wet. I'm sorry. That's not even on my mind to even have sex. So taking care of ourselves, taking care of each other, constantly dating each other, constantly finding new ways to connect. Like us building this Lego set is literally one of the ways we're gonna connect, and I promise y'all, we about to, when we're done with this video,
we're gonna make another video.
It's gonna be another one. So yeah, just like keep finding out what your partner likes, and remember, like, y'all are constantly growing with time. So just because they like this thing in the beginning of a relationship doesn't mean that they're gonna continue to like it, you know, years down the line. Can you not do that? That doesn't mean that they're gonna like it years down the line. Sometimes things change. Sometimes people get bored of the same old stuff. So make sure you're switching it up. Also, to add on to taking care of yourself, that diet is a must. Diet plays a huge part, because yeah, I could be managing myself mentally, but what am I putting into my body? You know, if you're not eating right,
especially for men, if you're not eating right, you're done for.
Both, honestly, like there really is no either or, because as a woman, like, you gotta maintain a proper diet for her to be okay down there, and as a man, you have to maintain a proper diet for it to function, and for, you know, him to not throw her off. Just think of it like a puzzle piece. The pieces just gotta match. It takes two. It takes work on both ends, because there'll be some times where, like, you know, I'm slacking and he's taking his ginger shots every day, and I'm over here eating cookies and fucking up the raw cookie dough out the fridge, and you know, like, that's not serving me well, but it made me feel good a little bit. And what he was saying earlier about constantly learning about your partner's body. So knowing that there are many ways that you can enhance that pleasure and keep things interesting in the bedroom. We started exploring different kinks and fetishes. That's why we got into the rope play, and we got into wax play. We started, like, finding other ways to initiate foreplay. It starts at the beginning of the day, but sometimes, like, you know, you just have this one moment throughout the day. We started doing shit like, what we learned, that I like being tickled. Mm-hmm. Don't come for me. I like to be tickled. I like a little wrestling, and I like a little tickling. I don't know what it does. It just turns me on. But you get those discoveries when you're constantly trying to explore your partner more and more and more.
Do y'all plan to have children at some point in your life? Yes. I want kids.
I'm open to having kids in the future. I'm only 24, so it's just not a conversation that's really on my mind for real, but it's not like it's something, it's not like it's off the table or anything. It's just not
the first thing you think about.
Yeah, it's not a priority. Once I'm ready, and once, you know, I've done the bulk of my my work, then we gonna have some babies.
Yeah, because it takes time to raise one.
Shit, it takes a village.
Are y'all married yet, or do y'all plan on getting married anytime soon? Shout out the real Plan B. If you know, you know. She's so cool. Yes, we do plan on getting married one day, but all of these things, like the marriage and then the kids part, all of these things are dependent upon how life is going at the time. Like, it takes a lot of money to raise a kid, and if I'm going to raise a kid, I don't want to be struggling to take care of one. If we're going to get married, I don't want to be struggling to take care of my wife, you know. So, like, for me, it's like we gotta make X amount of money, you know what I mean, before we plan these things, or these things happen, because life isn't cheap.
Yeah, I told him he gotta He got to pay a hefty price to tie me down. We locked in though.
We locked in for real.
We locked in.
How do y'all feel about showing your intimacy for people to see on social media? How do we feel? We do it every day. I feel like I love it because we get to show people something that they never really experienced in life, and we show people something that is possible for them to experience. You know, so like for me, like I said, I'm a big nerd. So like consciousness is forced to evolve once it acknowledges something. So once consciousness, i.e. you or I, see something, we must evolve into it. So what I'm saying is like, once someone sees intimacy, they aren't exactly experiencing the intimacy, but they're physically seeing it, so they know that it exists. That means that possibility must exist for them. I don't believe anything exists in the world only for one person or only for a specific group of people. I believe that everything that is experienced in one can be experienced in all. And so for that, I love to share our intimacy. I love to share what we do. Because it's not just for me. A lot of people might look at it and be like, "Oh my God, they make porn." I don't look at it like that. I look at it as we're sharing something with the world that the world doesn't really get to see. I get to share my knowledge in this field. I get to share everything that I know, as well as her. And we change a lot of people's lives. We make a lot of people sex life a little better. Why? Because they see what we're doing. So that they are forced to grow into these fields of, or in these areas of their life. So I love doing it. I love showing up every day and sharing something new. I love sharing a different aspect of our relationship. I love sharing like literally everything that we do. It's not an easy thing at all to do. It's not easy doing it, but it's so fun. And it's, I don't want to say it's almost like a game. It's something that I just genuinely love. Like, you don't get this everywhere. You're not going to see this everywhere. It's impossible. I'm not going to say it's impossible because it exists, right? It's there. So I just love doing it. I love sharing it with people. I love sharing it. We get to show the world every day. We get to show the world every day.
I'm a voyeur and an exhibitionist. Let's get to real tea.
What you talking about?
Sharing our intimacy with the world and all of that. Like, yeah, I love being watched. Something about it just gets me going. Yes, everything that he said, because I heard him from the background. Mm-hmm. But if I may add, I also just get off on the idea of people watching me feel good and being like, damn.
Freaky motherfucker.
That's hot. So, yeah, that's how I feel about it. And then, think about it. Like, what we do is no different from what literally almost all of y'all do anyway. We do the do's, y'all do the do's.
We just
share. The difference is we put the camera up and we posted it for the world to see. Some people do it for free. Some people do it for heartbreaks and headaches. Some people do it for babies. Everyone has their own reasons and intentions behind it. Ours is just for a little bag and a little kink.
What do you hope to get from this YouTube journey? I'll go first. I hope, and my goal is to be a household name. And I say that because I want the world to know us. I want to share this experience with the world. I believe that we are, 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 I believe I believe we are entering a new era in our life, and I believe that this is really the time for us to be serious about what we're doing. And like I said, I'm the biggest nerd, so one of my biggest things is thinking really big. So how big can I think? I want everybody to know my name. I'm not just doing this for shits and giggles. Like, no, I'm doing this for real, and we're gonna do this for the rest of our lives. So, this is it. Like, I'm not doing this for 2 people to see. I'm trying to change everybody. You know, I'm not that I'm trying to change everybody. I'm trying to get everybody to see intimacy from a different perspective, love from a different perspective, sex from a different perspective. You know, so all of these different things make up why I want to do this even more.
I don't know. I just wanted to try something new. just another experience to add to my belt. Mm-hmm. To add to my little bucket of experiences in life, and then also to I want to use this YouTube journey to also draw connections to the other areas or the other business adventures that I have. So, I mean, as a pole dancer / instructor, like, that's something that I do take seriously. I don't just fuck on camera. I also dance. Right. So it's also, it would be cool to use this YouTube journey to draw more exposure to myself as a performer.
The last question that we are going to answer today is, what made y'all do porn? And it's really simple. We was fucking a lot.
Boy.
Yeah, we was fucking a lot. We wanted to make some extra money, and she was on Twitter, so she realized the OnlyFans stuff. She had, you can tell me you had the OnlyFans before me.
Yeah, okay, so actually, I had an OnlyFans before I met him. I got into it through like the whole like Dom BDSM thing. Listen, I was a broke college student. Listen, I was a broke college student, and a bitch was hungry and she needed money, and minimum wage was
$7.50, $7.25.
Cause who was about to slave away for $7 an hour after taking during a 19-hour semester, mind you. I was a chemistry major, 19-hour semesters, $7 an hour minimum wage. It just wasn't working for me. So I was like, listen, if I gotta sell some feet pics and humiliate men and all this other shit that they keep talking about on social media for some money, I'm gonna do it. So I did it, and then that was also around the time, literally when COVID had hit, I was working part-time as a barista, and the shop that I was working at had some flowers.
Look, that's Simone in there.
Hi! That I was a barista at this cute little bubble tea shop, and the pandemic forced us to close down. So girl didn't have no money and rent was due. So I hopped on OnlyFans and I started off in the BDSM space. I was selling I was selling panties. I was humiliating dudes for bread. Like I was trying to do it all, but I realized that wasn't the route that I wanted to go, because I'm actually not a mean girl. And then once we got together, he saw my burner Twitter and he was like, "Oh, you know it?" And I was like, trying. And then he told me about how he had a Pornhub page and he had hundreds of thousands of views on it. So we were like, you know, we fuck a lot. We could just monetize it. And so we did. Thus, DeeNPeezy has been born. So, why do we get into it? For money. I needed money.
I think that's the start of everybody doing something. money.
Yeah.
That's everybody's motivation. How can we make this bag, and how quickly can we do it?
And boy, I don't regret it at all.
Right.
So,
and I won't go back.
right now that I found out, like, I've had this newfound freedom, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I can't return to the 9-to-5 life. It's this is just I got too much freedom right now. I can't give it away for a rich man.
Mm-hmm. So, thank you guys for watching this very, very long video. If you stayed to the end,
You a real one.
you're a real one for sure. We are going to show you guys what these pieces look like in the end. Mind you, it was almost 1,000 pieces, so we were kind of halfway done. We just opened bag 3 and there were 4. You like it?
Yeah. Flowers that will never die.